welcome to Sunday Sessions. My name is Darante LaMar, and I host these weekly conversations as a touch point for connection, inspiration, and personal growth. My goal is to get people excited about the idea of being a better way to connect by building community without superstition. So while today's conversation may feel like church at times, there will be absolutely no appeals to deities, doctrines, or anything that cannot be demonstrated as dependable information. At no point will you be asked to confess your sins or pick a savior. Instead, you will be encouraged to learn, laugh, and love freely while giving others the grace to do the same. We are building something world-changing, and if this is your first time, welcome in. Let us know that you're new so that our community can show you some love in the chat. So I do have a few quick announcements before we get started. I will be on the line today immediately after today's show. So that'll be for the 2 o'clock Sunday show. So today's show will be a little shorter so that I can have some time in between. But for those of you who like to see me engage with theists, check us out. I'll be there. I think I'll be on with Matt today, and Matt and I always have an excellent time. Also, I will be in California in October for our first live event. This is absolutely insane. It's a little overwhelming. As a matter of fact, I think I can say it this way. This is kind of a big deal. We're building local community there. So if you're in that area, if you're in Southern California, man, tap in using the link in the description. You don't want to miss this. And you don't have to be in California to participate. If you're just wanting to hang out and meet some other people who are passionate about community, keep your eyes peeled for the date and location so you can make your travel arrangements. And of course, I do want to give a major thank you to my patrons, my YouTube members, window shoppers, and our donors through PayPal, Venmo, and CashApp. Your generosity powers the velocity of this movement and community. And so for everyone else, if you've ever wanted to be a part of a global movement, listen, this is a good time to get connected. Consider connecting to BridgeCity Global by enrolling in BridgeCity 101, How We Change the World, and tapping in through the link in the description to let us know you're willing to be a part of a local BridgeCity community in your area. Are y'all ready to get into today's conversation? I am. I'm super excited. After last week, I felt like I preached without even having to holler, and it just felt so comfortable. And again, a major part of why we do these is to be a point of connection, to be a place that you can have a weekly touch point to get some type of encouragement, some type of motivation, some type of support that helps you in your personal growth journey, helps you in your ideas for community development, and even helps you in your ideas for global change or global progress without appealing to any superstition, any deities, or anything like that. So let's get into this because this stuff makes my day. There was a couple in the delivery room for the birth of their first child, and it was a particularly hard birth for the mother, and the father ends up fainting from the stress of the complications. I don't know if you've ever been in a delivery room before, but I was in the delivery room for my children, and yikes. I can completely understand the fainting. Especially my children were C-sections, so it was terrifying. The doctors dragged the father out, and the woman's mother replaces him by her daughter's side. She says, "Sweetheart, I know that this is the hardest thing you've ever had to do in your life. And normally, when we're going through hard times, we like to take it slow and ease our way through the pain. But what's happening with you right now is alive, and it's on the way. When you're this close on the edge of producing something new, you're already too far to slow down. So this is not the time for hesitation. This is the time to push." I like this story because birth has always fascinated me. The process that the mother and child goes through is unimaginable and yet profoundly poetic in its ability to paint the picture of the persistence of people. Leaders and learners alike often draw on birthing allegories for inspiration that lets us know that sometimes doing something absolutely beautiful is also absolutely terrifying. Giving birth to a child is beautiful and terrifying. Having a vision to do something significant, oh my goodness, it's beautiful, but it's also terrifying. Making the decision to go back to college, baby, it's beautiful. Making the decision to write that book is beautiful, but it's also terrifying. And just like with giving birth, the closer you get to the due date, the more terrifying it actually becomes. Let me cook for a bit, because in the beginning, you are overwhelmingly thinking about all the things that can go right, how everything is going to look. Oh, it's going to be beautiful. You just imagine the first moment you learn that you're going to be a parent, a father, a mother. The very first time you learn that somebody's going to buy your book or invest in something you're doing, the very first time you learn that someone's going to help you do something, when you first think about it, when you first get that job offer, when you first get that opportunity, oh man, you think about all of the wonderful things that are going to go right, all the ways you could decorate the room, all the ways you could dress it up, all the ways you could dress yourself up, all the things you do. But the closer you get to the due date, the closer you get to due time, the closer you get to reality, the closer it gets to actually being here, you begin to focus on all the things that could go wrong. Let's call that the pressure of being close to due. And so this weekend, while still building on this journey and sharing our vision with the world, I want to encourage everybody who is currently feeling the pressure of being close to due. I want to talk to some people who feel like you're currently in the delivery room of a better version of yourself and you're starting to feel the pressure. Am I talking to anybody out there? Some people who are on the edge of doing something impactful, somebody who feels like they're just getting started with something that will outlast them, somebody who just finished writing that book that is going to change lives. I just want to preach this weekend to somebody who feels like you've been carrying something for so long that it is now physically causing you pain and discomfort. I came to tell you that that pain in this scenario is the sign that it's time. And this is kind of a big deal. Look at somebody. Oh, you can't see them. Tag somebody and say it's time to push. I don't know if you need to push out, push back, or push up, but baby, it's time to push. This is not the time to rest, relax, or retreat. This is not the time to complain, criticize, or critique. This is not the time to praise, perform, or politicize. If you're carrying something like I am and you're ready to deliver on what's due, then this is not the time for any of that, baby. This is the time to push. Some of y'all, oh man, some of y'all who feel like you're ready, you need to start practicing right now. Just start walking up and down the stairs to loosen up the delivery doorway. Start doing those little breathing exercises that many mothers start doing in the last week of being due, just walking around. What are you doing? I'm practicing on my pushing. If you're going to be in this delivery room with me, I'm going to need you to help me push. And I'm here this weekend. Forget that. BridgeCity Global is here, period, to help you push. Is this good, y'all? Is this good, y'all? It's time to push. So last week we started a new series entitled This Is Kind of a Big Deal. That was born out of me wrestling in real time with the weight of realizing that this work that I've been committed to for a little over a year is now having a significant impact. And more than that, as we're continuing to grow, there's starting to be a tangible response and demand for in-person connection, conversation, and community. Southern California, representing our largest hub of interest, now has a growing hub that has started meeting regularly online, and I'll be traveling there in October for our first official live event. And while meeting with our little growing team, it was suggested that we invite people outside of California who might want to fly in to participate. And that really took me back. I was kind of lost for a minute. I told y'all last week I can be aloof. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, what? And so I was like, why would they want to fly in to meet people in California? You know what I'm saying? Because mind you, this isn't going to be an incredibly large event. This is mainly focused on those people in Southern California who are interested in building local community. And it was my way of going there to meet them, see what they're about, see if we have any serious people there who are ready to kind of put their hands where their hearts are, if you will, you know what I'm saying? And maybe a little bit of the money where their mouth is too, and just see if we can find some people who are actually ready to build something there. And so I'm like, why would they want to come to California and see that? And then Robert reminded me that no, Robert watched last week's, and last week I kind of shared that I was shocked when I went to NanoCon and there was so many people who had come there specifically for me that I was shocked that they had to move my session into a larger room. I was shocked that people had bought my books. I didn't even bring my books. People had brought my books there for me to sign. And like there was such a demand on my time. So Robert reminded me that no, people might want to come because this is our first live event. He said they might want to come just because this is something that you're doing. And I was like, shit, you are right. He's right. This is kind of a big deal. Like I get so caught up in the work, and unapologetically, I've told y'all I'm hyper productive. So literally, this space that you see me in right now, this is literally where I am the majority of my day. I am just now getting to the place where I have room to kind of communicate with people, but it's pretty much all work. So I don't think about myself in those ways, which is kind of like something that I do find healthy. I like that. I think that's a healthy detachment. So I don't think about, so I miss stuff like that. But what we're doing, it actually is kind of a big deal. Like we're building a scalable, people-centered alternative to religious superstition. Most secular communities, and I shared this last week, most secular communities fall short of replacing the structure, the ritual, and emotional fulfillment that religion often offered. But BridgeCity Global is doing something rare. We are literally reimagining sacred community without superstition, with depth and intentionality. We're not just critiquing religion, we're constructing. There it is. We're not just critiquing, we're constructing. Someone asked me, I think it was Brady, when he and I did a show together, he asked me, he said, do you consider yourself in the anti-apologist space? And I was like, actually, no, I don't consider myself in the anti-apologist space. I'm really good at critiquing religion. But that's not my whole goal. I hope you see when I do my videos, I try to end all of them with a call to humanism. So you could say I am absolutely in the deconstruction space, but what I am more interested in, yes, I'm in the deconstruction space, but what I am more interested in is the development of the reconstruction space. That's why BridgeCity exists, is to help those, yes, who are deconstructing, but also those who are interested in building something with their own lives. So for us, it's not just critiquing, it's about constructing a viable, structured alternative, which could become, my hope, could become a model for others worldwide. And this matters because we're filling a massive void for millions who are deconstructing their faith, but still crave purpose, community, and some form of meaning. That's not just content, it's culture shaping. So at this moment, this isn't just theory. Like what's happening in Southern California right now is evidence, is proof of concept that there is a hunger for what we do, that there is a hunger for what you hunger for, that you're not alone in your desire to find, build, and benefit from people-centric community. This is a global movement, y'all, a planet-wide revolution. And this, y'all gonna get tired of hearing me say this is kind of a big deal. So let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So today we're going to be talking about pushing. Why is it so hard? What we need to unlearn, and what should motivate us in this. So let's start with what's in the way. Thank you for that $2 super chat. That's coming from the layman. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's start here. What's in the way? What's in the way? Why is it so hard to push, even when you know it's a big deal? Can anyone identify with that question? Like, have you ever been in a moment that was big for you? But if we're being honest, and you should be, if we're being honest, and we should be, you couldn't find the push needed to facilitate the delivery. Like, you can know that this is a moment, that this is a moment that is going to absolutely transform your life for the better and still struggle to fully lean in and find the motivation to push. That's reality. That's something I deal with daily. I think it's something we all wrestle with. So let's unpack that. Why is it so hard to push even when I know it's a big deal, even when it's something that I really want to do, even when it's something important to me? What happens that delays my progress in delivery? What happens that slows that down? This is actually a real phenomenon that often happens in the delivery room when a mother, obviously, who wants that child, but for whatever reason runs into a situation where there is a delay in pushing. And that's just like real life. You could want that job, you could want that degree, you could want to be a part of that community, you could want to write that book, you could want to start that business, you could want to start that nonprofit, you could be truly, truly motivated, you could have all of the ideas in the world that makes you want to do it, but for whatever reason, just can't find something to push. So I kind of want to explore that. What's often in the way? I think it's three things. I think the first thing that often makes it difficult to push is the real-time pain. Just in all actuality, this shit hurts. And moving forward is often going to guarantee more pain before payoff. You know, like I can remember, man, like I can remember being in the delivery room, watching my wife give birth, and we're having to say push, and I'm like, that shit looks painful. And I know pushing is not going to stop the pain. Pushing is going to invite more pain until the delivery is over. So one of the things that scares us, terrifies us about pushing, one of the things that makes it so difficult to push to push further, is that no, this hurts right now, and then pushing is actually going to invite more hurt. And in this case, hurting doesn't just feel like hurting. Hurting feels like breaking. Oh man, hurting feels like breaking. Emotional discomfort and anxiety can be present as pain to a point where a person feels so overwhelmed that it becomes nearly impossible for them to imagine themselves capable of continuing. This is something that I definitely wrestled with the last 5 years that I was in ministry, because I started listening to a lot of my prayers, and of course I was going through college at the same time, but I was listening to my prayers, but I was going through so much emotional turmoil in building this church that I was building at the time, and everything was like, oh, was coming down on me. And so I'd find myself saying stuff like this, and you let me know if you've ever heard yourself saying stuff like this. I can't go much further. I can't take any more. This is too much for me. I'm not going to be able to make it after this. I don't know how much longer I can make it. Like I found myself constantly saying things like this because it wasn't just hurting. The hurting felt like breaking. The hurting felt like I was literally breaking. Now, obviously, I was able to do some talking to myself and say, hey, Playboy, you're not breaking, you're hurting. You're not dying, you're hurting. This is emotionally devastating. Oh man, it's painful. This is good, y'all. But this is often a conflation of emotional discomfort with physical capacity. So here's some hard truth. Just because it hurts doesn't mean you can't. Oh man. Oh man. And I think, you know what? You know what? I think that's where I was. I think that's where I was. The idea was it hurts, so that must mean I'm incapable. If this hurts, if this hurts so bad, this must mean that I can't handle this. Because you know what do we say? It's not supposed to hurt this bad. And now when I find myself saying stuff like that, when I say, man, it's not supposed to be this hard, it's not supposed to be this bad, it's not supposed to hurt like this. And I'm like, bro, where are you pulling that information from? Who told you it wasn't supposed to hurt? Like, what are you grounding that in? I don't even know where you're pulling the supposed to from. It just does. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Just because it hurts doesn't mean I can't handle it. That was a hard lesson for me to learn. Now, please be mindful that you have to balance that with just because it hurts doesn't mean I should handle it either. Now, you gotta pick your battles. But no, just because it hurts doesn't mean I can't handle it. It doesn't mean I can't deal with this. This hurting in many times just means this is something new that I'm dealing with. This is something uncomfortable. This is something embarrassing. But I'm going to get used to all of that, and I'm going to learn my way through it. Yes, it may hurt right now, but that don't mean I can't do it. It just means it's a little uncomfortable for me. A major part of helping people push is helping them understand that there are stronger. Is helping people understand that they are stronger than their mind is currently capable of comprehending. This has always amazed me. Now, I don't know. This may not be true for you, but I found out that this was true for me. Oh my goodness. Is that the way I saw myself, and even sometimes still do, I saw myself as someone who couldn't take anything. My mind wouldn't even allow me to see it until I started giving it some new information. Because this is what you learn when you're in that delivery room. What the doctor knows and the experienced mothers in the delivery room knows is that you may not understand it, but your body is more capable to withstand it. I'm going to say it again. What the doctors in that room know and what other mothers in that room know who have been in there and have dealt with it, what other fathers who've been in that room know and have had to watch it, what they know is like, yes, you don't understand it. You have no clue how you're going to get through this moment. Your mind, for whatever reason, right now is not able to understand it, but your body is more than capable to withstand it. I've always found that to be absolutely fascinating because I'm definitely in there like, now, how is that thing going to get out of that thing? And how is she going to be okay after all of this? And somehow it happens. The truth is, your hesitation is evidence that you don't know how strong you are. You don't really know how much you can take. You've been told that you're nothing, broken, weak, and useless for so long that you haven't been paying attention to just how much your ass has actually survived, achieved, and defeated just to be able to watch this video right now and be receptive in your right mind. You've been treating yourself like you've been barely making it. And I'm telling you, motherfucker, if you are alive, you are a survivor. Oh my goodness, you got to be able to look back over your own life and say, oh, I did that. I damn sure did. Because that's what I started doing. Once I started realizing that I was saying these types of things, I was going back to myself like, dang, Darante, I don't know how I'm going to make it. How did you make it last time? And the time before that? I don't know how much I could take. How much did you take last time? And the time before that, when I was in church, when I was a pastor, my church used to do the song that says, if he did it before, he could do it again. Same God right now, same God back then. And so I said, you know what? I'm about to flip that thing. If I did it before, come on now. Damn it. I wish I had some folk out there. If I did it before, I can do it again. Same me right now is the same me back then. The same way I saw myself through that last scenario, the same way I picked my ass up last time, guess what? I'm going to do it again. But that was just a part of my deconstruction process, is realizing that, hey, bruh, there was no God helping you make it through any of this. This has been you fighting your battles all along, giving somebody else the credit. And it's because, oh my goodness, you were giving away your credit so much to gods, families, and friends that you bankrupted your ability to believe in your own capacity. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You've been giving away so much of your credit that you've bankrupted your belief in yourself. You need to go back and get your credit back. You need to go back and tell everybody who you said, you know what, listen, I told you I would have never made it without you. I'm sorry. That was a lie. I got to come back and set the record straight. That was really helpful what you did, and I'm really appreciative and everything. That was really good, but damn it, I did some of that too now. Yeah, I did some of that too. I really appreciate you for cooking me those meals while I was going through college, but it was my ass doing the studying and getting the degree. You need to learn how to go back and take your credit back. I find that even sometimes this is a problem in familial relationships. Some people are so fucking toxic in your life is because you've given them too much credit for shit that they don't deserve credit for. And you need to be able to go back and say, I just need to remind you because I didn't set the record straight last time, but now I'm here to tell my own story. You helped, but it was me. Hell, maybe you need to get a little Drake vibe on that thing. Came up, that's all me. No help, that's all me. Whatever, all me for real. Yes. Shit. Okay, I'm sorry. Let's get back to it. You've got to give yourself the credit. This is something that I do encourage people to do. You got to go back over your life and just think about how many things you've actually made it through. You know, you got to go back in your life and see how, like, man, you're like a tree. Oh shit, I didn't mean to go here, but I think this is good. You're like a tree growing on the side of a mountain. The odds are stacked against you, but somehow you've kept stretching. Somehow you've kept bending. Somehow you've kept adapting. You've lost some branches along the way. You've dropped some leaves along the way. You produced some immature fruit along the way, but you are still here and you are still stretching in an environment where nobody would have thought anything could have survived. If you watch that tree stretch around those rocks in search of the light, every time I look at that, I think of humanity. Yes, so far. Oh, damn, I love that. I looked down at the right time. So far, I have a 100% survival rate. That's how you got to treat yourself. That's some cold-blooded, man. Oh, man. Yes. You're going to need to give yourself that credit back. That wasn't God. That was me. That wasn't mama. That was me. That wasn't daddy. That was me. It wasn't the degree. It was me. Maybe it's Maybelline. No, bitch, maybe it's me. Okay? All right, so real-time pain. Dang, I've only gotten through one. Okay. First one, real-time pain. Second one, things that often prevent us from pushing. First one, real-time pain. Pain is real. You know? Think about it. Like, I don't know if any of you work out. I do it a little bit. But you can't avoid the pain. You know? You want to get to that next level. You already know that it's going to be painful. That's that discomfort. That can be like, you know what? I don't think I want to do that. But the second one is unchecked fear. You know, unchecked fear. Like the fear of doing it wrong. As a father of 4, I've been in the delivery room more times than most. And even after you've been initiated, it's still a terrifying experience every time. And so sometimes I think we get so overwhelmed by the fear, somehow thinking that this fear means that I'm less than, that this fear means that I'm not ready. In all actuality, this fear just means I'm human. This fear means I'm aware. This fear means I'm concerned. Okay? But doesn't really matter how many times I do this. I'm still going to be afraid every time. I may learn how to manage it better. I may learn how to inform it better, but I'm still going to carry it. I just got to learn how to check it. This is healthy and rational because giving birth is always a high risk situation. It's one of the reasons I deconstructed. It became very clear to me that if we ever developed a technology where women did not have to give birth, that a major part of our society would vote against that technology just for biblical reasons. And I'm like, that's mortifying to me. Like, birth is always a high risk situation. If there's a way that we could remove the fatality possibility, I'd feel better about it. I'm just saying. That's me. My 2 cents. You ain't got to think that, but that's just me. You know, building something as audacious as BridgeCity Global is absolutely risky. Publishing a book is risky. Starting a business, risky. Launching a nonprofit program, trying to help solve a problem that you're passionate about, it's risky. But just because it's risky doesn't mean you can't handle it. I remember a few years ago, we had this little inflatable pool in the backyard. And our kids, playing in the pool, our 2 younger kids were playing in it. And my youngest son was jumping in, and he was jumping in a little too close to the edge, and then like trying to swim over in the edge. And then all I could think was, because as a parent, your mind kind of goes to the worst possible scenario when you see stuff like that. And all I could think was, because these little inflatable pools, they're not very, stable. So I'm thinking he gets too close to the edge, maybe bumps it a little hard, and then it folds in on itself and the water drains out, and then it wraps him up in it, and then he's in there suffocating, and I can't get to him in time, because that's how parents think, And so I'm seeing him, and I'm like, no, don't do that. And then he jumps and he stops. He's okay, Dad. And I walk back in the house, and I'm like, oh, I don't think that's actually the message that I wanted to communicate, right? What I did was I reacted to the emotion that I was having, the fear that I was having, but that actually wasn't the message that I wanted to communicate. So I turned back around and went back outside and said, listen, I didn't mean to scare you, to startle you, that you were swimming close to the edge, and I was concerned because it looks dangerous to me. But I don't want to give you this messaging that you should avoid things because they look dangerous. That's not what I want to teach you. I don't want to teach you that staying away from risk is a good idea. I want to teach you how to learn how to do dangerous things safely. I want to teach you how to learn how to navigate risk. All right. You see that? That's what happens when you check your fears. All right. So you can be afraid of doing it wrong, but you can also be afraid of not delivering successfully. And again, this is not a fear about the outcome. It's the fear about our own capacity. When we're afraid that we're not going to do something well, that we're not going to do it great, it's not that we're afraid that it's not going to turn out great. You got to get more specific. What we're really saying is we don't think we have the capacity to see this thing through. And that's a real emotion. Many people wrestle with that. And I'm going to tell you, the difference between you and anybody else who's doing something is they're just doing it anyway, right? There's this saying that we used to have back in the day, do it scared. You know what I'm saying? That's literally where you have to be at with this. You have to have that commitment, do it scared. So you think everybody else has just conquered their fears and they've conquered all of their issues and that they are somehow whole people. And I'm like, no, baby, they are doing it scared. They are doing it broken. They are doing it lonely. They are doing it terrified. They are making the decision to do it because they've determined that where they are or what they have or what they're around is no longer serving what they want. And so they make that decision that I got to push scared. I got to push terrified. I got to push not knowing what the hell I'm doing. I got to push not knowing if I'm pushing in the right direction or the wrong direction. But God damn it, I've got to push. I've got to push, because if I do not push, I'm going to stay here, But I think that was one of the things that freed me, that freed me, is just realizing, like, no, ain't nobody else figured this out. Nobody else has no Like, this is how people are taking advantage of you. They're telling you, oh, I got the secret. And if you just get this secret, the secret is do it. That's the secret. Whatever it is on your mind, do it. Do it scared, do it ignorant, do it lonely, do it not knowing what the fuck you doing. Just do it. Okay. Nike that shit. Just do it. All right. Do it. And the more you do it, the more you'll learn about it. Okay. See, it's not that we think that doing it successfully is not possible. It's doubting our own capacity to make it happen. Like, if there is any hindrance, like if y'all think BridgeCity has grown fast so far, if y'all think DLDD World Group has taken the world by storm so far, just you wait till we actually help people see value in themselves. Because I promise you, if I just had 12 people right now who saw themselves as capable, that is the biggest barrier right now. The biggest barrier right now is that we have been so inundated in a society of personalities, in a society of politicians, in a society of powerful people, that we have embraced an ideology is that there is a chosen one and the rest of us just watch. That's where we've been living at for the past several hundred years. And I'm doing my hardest to break that shit, because that's what has created this huge wealth inequality that exists in the world. Damn it, I didn't mean to go here, but I guess we're here because we have convinced 90% of the folks to just trust the 10% to handle it. Hell no. No, I'm trying to, my goodness, I'm trying to help as many people as I can reclaim their fucking seat at the table. Our biggest barrier right now, you think we're growing. You think we're growing. Oh, what if we had 12 people right now who saw themselves as capable of making it happen? See, I get up every day and do what I'm doing because I see myself as capable of making some shit happen. If I can just find 12 other people that see themselves as capable, that are willing to go as hard as I am. God damn it. See, y'all are literally watching me push. Every time you see me, you're going to see me push. Y'all like, man, why is he so moody all the time? Because heifer, I am in the delivery room. If you're going to be in here, you better hold my hand and help me push. And if you holding my hand right now while I'm in the delivery room, if you're holding my hand right now where I'm pushing, you better be prepared to feel some of the pain that I'm feeling. Y'all better talk to me out here. No, we need more people who feel like they are capable. No, I'm capable of making it happen. I might not make it happen the first time. You know, sometimes it's like pancakes. You got to first throw the first 2 or 3 of them out. They don't come out right, but that's okay. I'm going to keep stirring and I'm going to keep pouring and I'm going to keep flipping until I get the pancakes just the way that I want. See, they ain't got to be right the first time, but I believe that I can make it happen. I may not be able to make it happen the first time, but baby, I'm going to keep on trying. Hell, the second time may be a little fucked up too, but I'm going to keep on trying. I'm going to keep pouring. I'm going to keep stirring and I'm going to keep flipping until I get this thing right. Okay? Because I'm not going to doubt my capacity. I will doubt my experience. I will doubt my understanding. I will doubt my comprehension, but I will not doubt my capacity. No, I don't understand it, but I'm capable of understanding it. No, I don't have any experience, but I'm capable of getting the experience. Oh my goodness. Because once you get that, there's not many things that can stand in your fucking way. No. Once you can see yourself like, I'm capable, and I'm not, look, I tell y'all, I'm slipping over into mastermind mode. I told y'all mastermind, I talked to you like I talked to myself. This is what I had to tell myself. For years, I killed my own momentum. For years, I killed my own progress by believing that I had to wait for others because I had accepted an idea, innocent, humble, but insidious. I had accepted an idea that I could never be enough. I'm tell you, just one man. Hold up now. There's other people out there who just one man, and they got some shit done. I had been living in a bubble of confirmation bias, and that confirmation bias became a thing it became such a loop that I needed confirmation to even see validation in my own ideas. Oh my goodness. Which means I'm spending my life begging people to see me and support me in something that I'm not willing to support until they do. That's wild work. That's wild work. But it's because I had bought into this ideology that I'm never going to be able to make this happen on my own. I can't do this. First time I started dealing with that was in 2014. Man, ain't nobody gonna buy my books. Ain't nobody gonna help me publish my books. You know, write it anyway. For you. You know? All right. Let's move on. Because y'all know I gotta leave early today. I gotta go to the line. Third one, we talked about real-time pain. We just talked about unchecked fear, things that keep us from pushing. Now let's hit misplaced apathy. You know? Misplaced apathy. You're in the place, you're in the middle of doing something, you've been working on something, you feel like it's overdue, but you get to that place where you say, what's the point? You know? Why does it even matter? Why should I keep going? What's the point? Anytime you're there, I want to challenge you to answer the question. What is the point? Right? Why is this important to you? Why did you want to do this? Why did you, or why do you think that's not good enough to be the point? Why is it mattering to you not good enough to be the point? See, that was the key to unlocking my hyper productivity. And I'm not suggesting everybody be hyper productive. Don't do that to yourself unless that's just who you are. But that was the key to unlocking my hyper productivity. The first book I wrote, the book I was just telling you about, when I started writing it, I called it Insignificant because that's how I was feeling. And I was writing that book to wrestle with my own insignificance. And by the end of that book, I dropped the N and it's just significant, you know, because by the end of that book, I was like, oh no, yeah, I'm significant. I wrote this for me. I don't need anybody else to think I'm the shit for me to think I'm the shit. I don't need anybody else to think what I do is important for me to think it's important. And so watch this. I became the point. Oh man, doing it for me. If it's good enough for me, that's what matters. You know, what you got to ask yourself, why aren't you good enough to be the point? Another thing we say it won't matter anyway. I say it won't matter to who. If it matters to you, it matters. You got to learn how to find meaning in the mechanics. This matters because doing this increases the likelihood of X happening. Okay? That's why it matters. It matters to me. You know, but we are so used to having to submit what matters to us to the opinions of others that we've already started self-policing our own meaning-making mechanisms. So we say, no, it can't matter to me because it doesn't matter to anybody else. And this is when that nihilism creeps in, and it's just like now we're totally defining meaning by everybody else instead of putting yourself in the driver's seat. And it's because you still have that, which of course I've talked about this, we still have that carryover of anthro-denialism where we think that we're still seeing ourselves as broken, weak, incapable, and inherently corrupt or evil. And so then if that's how you see yourself, then you can't be good enough to be the point. But the moment you can see yourself as a survivor emerging in the sea of life, the moment you can see yourself as a living, thinking agent who is currently getting a taste of eternity. He's like, no, just that matters. Just the rarity of it matters. You know, if there was a market, in space, humanity would be a prized possession right now. Just the rarity. Until we know otherwise. So sometimes for me, I don't need some transcendental justification for my existence. This matters because it matters to me. I understand. For me, I use the mechanics of meaning. Yeah, no. If I get up here every Sunday and preach my little heart out, just preach my little heart out, it increases the likelihood that somebody else who has the gift of gab, who's been trying to find something they could do with their life where they could benefit humanity, determines, hey, I want to do that. If I get up here and preach my little heart out every weekend, then it gives space for somebody who's looking for encouragement, looking for motivation, and wants none of the superstition. They can get it. That's why it matters to me. And that's enough for me. This matters because you matter. Your hopes matter. Your desires matter. Just because this whole universe will likely cease to exist billions of years from now doesn't equate to you not mattering in the here and now. You matter because you're here and you can help. Can I say that again? You matter because you're here and you can help. I mean, if you're going to be here, help. Imagine humanity being like these people who are in this, got this wonderful vehicle of civilization, and it's on some flats right now. What we really need are people who are going to help us push. See how I did that? That was good. All right. But no, you matter because you're here. And if you're here, you can help. And the good news is that how you help is completely up to you. That's one of the things that I love about taking the long view of studying human civilization is that this is good. What we see, if we pay attention, is the evolution of how we help. There was at one point in time where the options to help each other were pretty low. Like, you could help by hunting, you could help by gathering. But as we've continued to group up, build communities that become civilizations, we've given ourselves more options to help. So now you can help by writing a song. Now you can help by literally sitting with someone when they're in their last years. Now you can help by making a specialty burger. Now you can help by creating a game that inspires the imagination. The truth of the matter is, how you help is completely up to you. I know we live in a world where for so long the narrative has been that how you help has to be predefined by society structure. But when you take the long view of history, that's the slow route. Man, this is good. You want to help by leading and motivating people through conversations? Let's go. You want to help by building small groups around interests and hobbies? Let's go. You want to help just by loving on people and helping them feel seen? Let's go. You want to help by creating music that helps people find their inner strength and their inner voice? Let's go. You want to help by showing people that gaming can be a community strong point? Let's go. Your existence and presence here represents an expansion of our capacity to help, and therefore an expansion of the amount of people that we can help. Like if you're going to be here, this is just help. That's like the motto for life, right? That should be our motto as humans. We're here and we help. If we're going to be here, we're going to help. All right, let's talk through some things that we need to unlearn. Number one, pain equals stop. We need to unlearn that. Replace that with pain equals data. Distinguish injury from intensity, right? Am I injured or is this intense? Am I hurt or am I breaking, right? Number two, fear equals I'm not capable. We need to unlearn that. Just because I'm afraid doesn't mean I'm not capable. Okay? You can replace that fear equals I'm close to something that matters to me. Another one, perfection before publishing. That one is just like, get the word perfection out of your vocabulary. It's not helpful. It's not helpful. It's not definitive. There is no model for it. Okay? That's always going to lead you chasing a golden goose that doesn't exist. So instead of perfection before publishing, replace with ship and then sharpen. Yep. Ship it, sharpen it later. You can always go back. Letting go of perfection also allowed me to let go of permanence in certain areas. So I will release books with errors. I will. Number one, because I treat myself like reality. And the reality is I'm one person. Some of my books are very long. I don't have an editor. I ain't got money like that. And I'm just one person. I don't have that team yet. And so you're going to get what looks like came from one person. But because I no longer have that perfection issue, I also no longer have that permanence issue. So I know, hey, when I get the time, when I get the money, I can republish the damn book. It's that easy. It's really that easy. And that's where I live. That's good, right? Man, come on now. Come on now. Because what's more important to me is that I get the ideas out. Oh, yeah. All right, let's go. Outsourcing credit is another thing that we need to unlearn. And this one, I'm still bad at, y'all. I'm still bad at giving people credit who didn't do shit. Oh my goodness. I'm just a nice guy. I praise people, man. I praise people, But no, we have to unlearn outsourcing credit, whether that's to God, whether that's to our degrees, whether that's to our mentors. We need to replace that with radical self-attribution. I know what I did, and I'm going to give myself credit for what I did. You know what I'm saying? Number 5, permission seeking. Replace with self-issued license. A lot of times when we're seeking permission, the question we're really asking is can I do this? Not may, but can I do this? We want someone else to give us permission so we can feel like, okay, they believe that I can do it. And it's like, but in all reality, you've got to get to that place where you're comfortable giving yourself that license, that self-issued license that, no, I'm gonna give this a try. Number 6, apathy as armor. Apathy as armor. And this one is so important. It's so important where you get to that place where the easiest place for me to be is to pretend like this doesn't matter to me. You know, the easiest place for me to be is to embrace an outcome or a scenario where I'm no longer looking at this as something of meaning. And while, yes, we can find some things that can make us feel like that's likely the most accurate way to view it, there is also a part of us that literally may be using that as an excuse. It becomes armor, a way to protect ourselves, to ask, what's the point? We can learn how to replace that with proximal meaning. Oh, I love this. I love this. Proximal meaning. Again, the point is me. The point is the people I care about, the things I care about. 7, resource weighting. Oh, and I think this one gets a lot of us, right? I'll start when I have, Now, there's one thing y'all will learn about me, my hyperproductivity. We don't have a lot. We don't have a lot of finances right now. Y'all know where we live. We live in America. But we don't have a lot. But I will still start things without having what I need. Because it will either happen or it won't. It's not a reflection of me. It's a reflection of whether we had everything we needed or not. But I will not wait until I have everything to get started. If it's important to me, I'll go ahead and get started and see, right? I'm not waiting on the resources. And most times, and I don't want to sound like a woo guru right here, but most times the resources are waiting on you. The resources are not going to come find you. You have to go find the resources. So it's not I'll start when, it's no, let me get started. And maybe a part of getting started is finding some resources. How about that? No, but no, let me get started. Let me get started talking about this. Let me start modeling this. I've been telling y'all since March 31st, 2024, when we first started our Sunday sessions, I said, I'm doing this to model what secular Sundays can look like. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing this to model what secular communities could look like. And I've been at it for over a year. I didn't have no resources. At that time, I was still working a full-time job. At that time, I was having to do this between 60 to 80 hours a week. I didn't have any resources, but it was important to with me. All right, so 8. Y'all ready? Rituals equals rules or rigidity. This is another one that is very important to unlearn. You can replace this with secular rituals, build momentum. Number 9. And this ain't just about pushing, man. Well, I guess it is, because it's whether you're an activist, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a community leader, whatever you are, I want to help you with this one. This one is so important. I could do a whole masterclass on this one topic alone: outcome idolatry. Okay? Outcome idolatry. You're so focused on the outcome. Replace outcome idolatry with process mastery. Whether I get the outcome I want or not, I'm still learning the process. And that's where the gold is. The gold is not in the outcome. The gold is in the process mastery. You know, the outcome is a one hitter quitter done with it. You know what I'm saying? Once you get the outcome, you got it. That's not gold. That's just an outcome. It's process mastery. Process mastery. So when you idolize the outcome, every time the outcome is not income, you're going to feel defeated. But when you focus on the process, oh man, you learn how to manipulate the outcome. You learn how to mastermind the outcome. You learn how to maximize your outcomes. You learn how to maneuver through your losses and maximize your wins. And so shift from outcome idolatry to process mastery. So even if I don't get the outcome that I want, all right. So when I made pancakes for the first time. They came out horrible. All right. A person who idolizes outcomes will say, I will never make pancakes again because I suck at making pancakes. And it's like, no, you have not mastered the process. Okay. Oh my goodness. I feel like this would help so many people in education right now. Okay. And then number 10, centralized voice. This is something we have to unlearn. I have a really attractive voice, not just sexy, but like it's appealing, right? I have a really attractive voice. I have a very vibrant personality. I have a very charismatic delivery. So it's really easy for people to start depending on me as a voice or as a personality. And that's something that I work really, really hard to discourage because it's flattering, but it's not helpful. And I don't like flattery. But no, it's not helpful. And when I mean it's not, what I mean when I say it's not helpful to me. It's not helpful to you. It's not helpful to the idea of humanity. At the end of the day, I'm an anarchist. I don't want to be anybody's leader. I don't want to be anybody's boss. I am a leader. But leadership to me is what I do with my life and the things that are entrusted to my care. It has nothing to do with my relationship with other people. I am nobody's leader. I am the leader of BridgeCity Global as an organization. That means I have a responsibility, not people to rule. You know what I'm saying? Like I have work to do. That's a whole different thing. But because of that, again, I'm an anarchist. My goal is to help people find their own voice, that I should never, and nobody connected to the work we do should ever be seen as a source of truth. You know, I say some things that are true, but I am not a source of truth. These conversations aren't meant to be sermons that are telling you how to live your life. These conversations are designed to be a point of reference, to give you some information that you can wrestle with, and ultimately you make the decision on how to act out on that information. Thank you for that $5 super chat, Daniel Davis. Man, I appreciate you being here and just being in the community with us today. I'm glad that this has been insightful for you. So we want to replace this idea of a centralized voice with distributed leadership. And hey, you're a part of that. Treat yourself like you belong at this table. Can nobody ride your back unless you bend down and let them get on? I want to see a world where more and more and more people feel capable of leading their own lives. Because damn it, when we leave it to the few, it will never be representative of the whole. Centralized voice just doesn't have that capacity. So, all right, what's the motivation to push? I want to give you 3 things here as we get ready to wrap up. And as a reminder, I'll be over on the line today at 2 p.m. CST with Matt Dillahunty. What's the motivation to push? Number 1, to build myself, right? Even if I do not successfully achieve the goal that I set to achieve, I still did the work. And you can't take that from me. You can't undo the work. This has been my superpower in life for the past few years. I do the work regardless of the outcome, because the work always builds me. Regardless of the outcome, the work always builds me. Every time I write a book, I am building my portfolio. Every time I'm write a book, I get more experience. Every time I create a video, I'm getting more experience. And again, building my portfolio. It doesn't always win. All of my videos don't always get thousands and thousands of views, but every video I do adds to the zeitgeist of the world that I'm creating. I didn't win the fight, but I still earned the experience. I didn't win the fight, but I still learned the weaknesses. I didn't win the fight, but I still threw the punches and I gained the muscle growth. You see that? Every time I push, I'm showing myself what I can do. Whether it gets me to where I want to be or not, it shows me a little bit more about myself. It shows me something else I need to work on, something else I can go deeper on. And every now and then I surprise myself. And boy, look at you. I did not know you were that bad. You just knocked that big motherfucker out, didn't you? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Let's do some more. No, I do it to build myself. When I was a pastor, everything I did had to succeed in other people's eyes. And if it didn't, I felt like a failure. I felt like something was wrong with me if anything I did didn't work. Which, guess what that's going to do? That's going to keep you it's going to keep you stuck. It's going to keep you in a place where you're not really doing anything. And so then I finally decided I don't care if it works or not. Like, I don't care if it works until it's working. Okay? Because that's the point. That's the point of trying it. The point of trying it is learning how to make it work, right? If I had already done this before, then I wouldn't need to try it. It would just be here. But I'm making something that has not been, y'all don't want to talk to me out there. Okay, here's the next one. So to build myself is one reason, but also to reap my reward, okay? If I'm in a place in life where I'm having to push, if life has me in a place where pushing is a requirement, it likely means that something I've been working on is finally getting ready to work on me. Which, man, this is the prerequisite, that it's about to be working for me, right? So I want to push because if I'm at a pushing moment, that means I'm close to my due date. Like right now, this is, like I told y'all, this whole series, this is a kind of a big deal. This is me talking to y'all in real time about the stuff that I'm feeling and how I'm navigating and coaching myself through it, because I'm in a place where I am on the edge of something incredible, but your boy is running on empty. I am feeling the pressure. And I know I got to push. And sometimes I don't feel like pushing because, again, this is painful. And I know it's going to get more painful before it gets to the payoff. I know it's going to get more painful. So sometimes I'm looking and I'm like, ew, I don't know if I want to take any more pain. This is already hurting enough. How much more can I take? So these are things that I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with those real time fears of, man, what if I just don't have what it takes to hold this up? I mean, what if I do get through the pain and then just on the other side, I mess it up? Oh man, no, this is real. Okay. So I'm pushing to build myself, but I'm also pushing to reap my reward because I'm reminding myself when I'm dealing with that fear and that doubt and that apathy is, bro, you've been working too damn long to get this far. Oh, see, I sound like a preacher now. You've come too far to turn around. I don't believe I brought me this far to leave me. Okay, yeah, it doesn't work. But the big point is, like, no, if I'm at the place of pushing, it means I've gotten this far. And pushing place is the place of delivery. All right. See, I think this was the most dishonest part of the prosperity gospel messaging, is making reaping sound easy. You're going to reap your harvest. You're going to reap it in Jesus' name. Hallelujah. Reap, 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 reap. Oh, reaping is pushing. Oh, no. See, sowing is the easy part. Reaping is the work. So watch this. I'm motivated to push because that's how I reap the reward of all of the hard work. You can't come this far. You've sown the seeds. You've been out there watering the ground. You've been doing all of that pruning. You've been doing all of that low stress training. Come on, man. You've been doing all of that nutrient feeding. You've been doing all of this for so long. You've been repotting, you've been adjusting, you've been finding the best places in the yard to get the best sight and to get the best sunlight. And now, at the time of harvest, you're going to say that's a little too much. You're going to walk away and leave all that on the table. You're not going to eat that. You know, you ever been at a restaurant and you see somebody, it's like, hold on, like you're not going to eat, like that's a whole steak right there. You're going to walk away from that whole thing. You put all this work in and you're not going to reap that just because someone forgot to tell you that this is where the real work kicks in. Mm-hmm. Yep. Thank you for that $10 super chat. I'll do the best that I can. I love y'all so much, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Yeah. Oh, this is good. No, to reap. And it's like, oh yeah, part of the reason why this hurts is because this is reaping and reaping is working. I'm going to have to push to get this, you know? Another motivation, and man, I got to hurry up. Another motivation is to birth something new, you know? For the mother, that's definitely what it is. For the visionary, that's what it is. On the other side of the push is something that did not exist before. And that's what this is all about. I started building this because this didn't exist. But the more I explored myself, conversation with others, and the comments of literal thousands, it became clear that this is kind of a big deal. What we are giving birth to is new. What you're working on in this season, whatever it is, because of your connection with this, is new. It's new. Oh my goodness. And then lastly, to build something needed. At the end of the day, I signed up for this journey because I believe that what I'm working on is needed. I sincerely think that people-centric Sunday communities focused on personal growth, community development, and global process, grounded with some good music, some good food, some mission projects, some community support, I believe that can be the catalyst for human flourishing and well-being. I'm working on what I think is needed. I'm passionate about it because I think it's needed. I'm dedicated to it because I think it's needed. So when those times come and I feel like I don't want to push, like I'm like, dang, I'm going to do this show and then I'm going to have to do another show and then I still got work to do. I have to remind myself I'm doing this because I'm convinced that it's needed. When I published my first book, it was because I needed to be the kind of person who finished what they started. I gave myself what I needed. Whatever you're working on, is it something that you feel is needed? Remind yourself of that need and let it be your anchor. My highest hope is that this message and moment serves as a bridge for you. If you are currently in the middle of doing something significant, impactful, ambitious, or just meaningful to you, and you found yourself struggling with getting motivated, encouraged, or just getting through, I hope today's conversation gave you the push you needed to get your push back. I hope you're starting to feel okay seeing yourself, your life, and your journey, the thing you're working on, as kind of a big deal. That on the other side of what you're working on is something new and something needed. Life can be isolating and stressful. Add to that the complications of not believing in any institutional deity, and it can feel absolutely unbearable. It can seem impossible to find the strength to focus, believe in yourself, finish your projects, or hope for anything better. And that's why we exist as a community. to be a better way to connect, a place of safety and community, so that none of us have to be figuring it out alone. Life is easier when we do it together. We're here every weekend to help you push. And because of people just like you who are joining every week, we're on the edge of physically being in local communities across the globe. Will you help us move the needle by joining us in our mission to change the world? See, this is your opportunity to get plugged into a movement that is progressive thinking, people-centric, and life-affirming. We're good without God. You can be a part of a community that gathers, grows, and does good without any appeals to God. If you're ready to make that move, enroll in BC 101 today. The link is in the description. Oh man, today has been an incredible day. I am so excited to be able to spend this time with you all every weekend. I want to thank you for joining Sunday Sessions. I hope this conversation has cultivated both insight and inspiration for you and your journey. Please connect with someone in the chat before leaving, because your relationships are the strength of this movement and this global community. Explore the links in the description to find ways to connect, including joining BC Global by enrolling in BC 101, tapping in to let us know that you're interested in building local community in your area, joining my email list to stay updated on what I'm doing with DLDD World Group, or financially support the channel, the content community, or the creator, that's me, through Patreon, YouTube, PayPal, CashApp, Venmo, or purchasing something from Window Shop. If you want to support, we've done our best to make it as easy as possible and as convenient as possible for you. And also, don't forget to join me over on the line today at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's all I have for you today, folks. I sincerely hope you enjoy the rest of your day and have an amazing weekend. Until next time, be the bridge and keep rising.